The year is 2025, and Eastern Europe remains mired in conflict. The Russia-Ukraine war, a grim spectacle that began in 2022, continues to cast a long shadow over the region. Cities lie in ruins. Millions have fled their homes, seeking refuge from the relentless violence. The human cost of this war is immeasurable, a stark reminder of the fragility of peace in the 21st century. Ukraine, once a nation brimming with hope, now finds itself locked in a desperate struggle for survival. Russian forces, despite suffering heavy losses, have gained a foothold in the country. They control vast swaths of territory, their advance marked by destruction and displacement. The Ukrainian people, though, have demonstrated remarkable resilience. They are determined to defend their homeland, their spirit unbroken despite the immense challenges they face. This conflict is not simply a regional crisis. It has reverberated across the globe, sending shockwaves through the international order. The specter of a wider war, one that could draw in global powers, looms large. The stakes could not be higher. The world watches with bated breath, hoping for a swift and just resolution to this devastating conflict. The international community has responded with a mixture of condemnation and support. Sanctions have been imposed on Russia, crippling its economy and isolating it on the world stage. Military aid in the form of weapons and training has flowed into Ukraine, bolstering its defenses against the Russian onslaught. However, these measures have yet to bring about a decisive end to the conflict. The war grinds on, a tragic testament to the human capacity for violence and destruction. Into this volatile landscape steps former U.S. President Donald J. Trump. Known for his unconventional approach to foreign policy, Trump has thrust himself back onto the world stage, positioning himself as a potential mediator in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. His involvement has been met with a mixture of skepticism and cautious optimism. Can the former president, who has often been accused of exacerbating global tensions, succeed in bringing peace to war-torn Ukraine? Trump's strategy hinges on his self-proclaimed deal-making prowess. He has long touted his ability to forge agreements where others have failed, and he seems determined to leverage this perceived strength in the context of the Ukraine crisis. The former president has suggested that he could broker a peace deal within a matter of days, a claim that has been met with incredulity by many seasoned diplomats and foreign policy experts. The timeline for these negotiations remains uncertain. Trump's advisors have acknowledged that a lasting peace agreement is likely months away, a more realistic assessment given the complexities of the conflict. The former president himself has oscillated between pronouncements of imminent breakthroughs and more vague assertions that a deal is within reach. Trump's involvement in the peace process has injected a new element of unpredictability into an already volatile situation. His willingness to engage directly with Russian President Vladimir Putin, a leader he has praised in the past, has raised concerns among some Western allies. They fear that Trump may be too eager to strike a deal, even if it means making concessions to Russia that could undermine Ukrainian sovereignty. At the heart of any potential peace deal lie a series of thorny issues that have long divided Russia and Ukraine. Resolving these contentious points will require both sides to make difficult compromises, a prospect complicated by the deep mistrust and animosity that has festered between the two nations. One of the most intractable issues is the question of Ukraine's potential membership in NATO. Russia views NATO expansion as a direct threat to its security interests, and has demanded guarantees that Ukraine will never join the alliance. Ukraine, on the other hand, sees NATO membership as crucial to its long-term security, a safeguard against future Russian aggression. Another key sticking point is the status of Crimea, the Ukrainian peninsula annexed by Russia in 2014. Russia insists that Crimea is now part of its sovereign territory, a claim rejected by Ukraine and the international community. The future of the Donbas region, where Russian-backed separatists have been fighting Ukrainian forces for years, is also a major point of contention. Beyond these territorial disputes, the question of security guarantees for Ukraine is paramount. A sustainable peace agreement must address Ukraine's legitimate security concerns, providing assurances that it will not be vulnerable to future Russian aggression. Whether such guarantees can be provided in a way that satisfies both sides remains to be seen. As negotiations unfold, the world watches with a mix of hope and trepidation. The possibility of peace, however distant it may seem, offers a glimmer of light in the darkness of this protracted conflict. Yet, the path to a negotiated settlement is fraught with obstacles, and the potential for missteps and miscalculations is high. The success or failure of these talks will hinge on a number of factors. The willingness of both Russia and Ukraine to engage in good faith negotiations is paramount. Equally important is the role of the international community, which must exert sustained pressure on both sides to reach a peaceful resolution. The outcome of these negotiations will have profound implications, not only for Ukraine and Russia, but for the broader international order. A successful peace agreement could help to restore stability to Eastern Europe and reaffirm the principles of international law. Conversely, a failure to reach a settlement could prolong the conflict, exacerbating human suffering and further destabilizing the region. The road ahead is uncertain, but the pursuit of peace must remain the ultimate goal. The stakes are simply too high to allow this conflict to fester. The world must remain committed to finding a peaceful resolution, one that respects the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine while addressing the legitimate security concerns of all parties involved.